Good afternoon, everybody. As we are celebrating Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav, we, in association with Sharda University, here we are back with another exclusive workshop on animation by Mr. Vinod A.S. I'd like to tell you about Mr. Vinod. With over 21 years of experience in 3D animation and visual effects, he's a graduate from University of Pune. He has a certification in advanced animation and visual effects in Silicon Graphics platform. One of the early artists to get trained in Alias Power Animation on SGI platform. He have also worked in many major studios and was associated with many top advertising commercials and music video albums. He has a certification in Maya from Alias Wavefront. Currently, he is associated and working with Toonz Animation Studios as VP Academics. So, Vinod sir, you're most welcome here. So you're on mute.
Thank you for the introduction.
Thank you, sir. So I'd like to hand over this session to you so you can go ahead with your presentation.
Okay. Thank you, Pooja. Thank you so much. So very good afternoon to all. My name is Vinod, as Pooja ji had already given an introduction about me. I've been in this industry for so long, and now at this age with almost 22 years of experience, I often conduct workshops interacting with the youngsters, explaining the whole process of animation filmmaking, introducing them to the various stages involved in animation filmmaking, and also making them understand about the career prospects in this field. The most important thing I found, there's a big gap when I interact with the youngsters. I found that many youngsters and even parents often still get a feel that animation is just meant for cartoons, and there's nothing serious about it. It's kids play or entertainment for kids. Beyond that, there's nothing. So the perception has changed. Of late, it has really changed, and people have started taking up animation filmmaking and designing as a serious career. But still, I felt there's a big gap, especially people from the interior, rural, remote areas, and all hardly get exposure to workshops and demonstrative sessions. So this session, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce my company. I work for Toonz Animation India. We are one of the oldest standing companies in India. We've been operating since 1999. We were promoted by a group from Geneva called Comcraft, and Toonz Animation India has got branches globally, many branches globally. So I'm going to introduce Toonz Animation India. This wouldn't take much time, and quick glimpse at the kind of works we do or we involve with, and the current projects we work on. And then I'm going to take you through various stages, like how we develop an animation film and what are the stages involved. I'm going to show an overview of it. Yeah, and you can ask questions, or you can through the chat box, and I'll be happy to reply to your queries live. At the same time, you can, in between, you can interrupt. I have no problem. Use the chat box and shoot questions. So let me start the session by showing a demo reel of animation done by Toonz Animation. You all know that there are two types of animation. Primarily, it's 2D and 3D. And all of us have been like, even from my age group, like we all have seen television since at least from school days. I've been watching television, and we've been watching Shaktiman, all those shows those days. But then now the younger generation who are exposed to the digital media, they have a better understanding about the cartoon shows, about the categorization like 2D, 3D shows and all. So that's something I've observed youngsters like who are hooked on to the medium like YouTube and television channel. They're fairly good understanding about 2D and 3D. So we work on two primary mediums, 2D animation and 3D animation. Remember, we don't do any more, we don't do any kind of hand-on animation. There are certain stages in animation filmmaking where we do require drawings, but predominantly it is a computer or a software on the computer contrasts what we really work on to produce both 2D and 3D. So let me share my screen by showing you one of our shows, that is the demo reels, which will give an idea of the kind of project we work on.
Blue, double-sided sticky tape, 3 toothbrush heads, 2 adult size, and 1 kid size. Play.
I think the audio is not shared. Let me share it once again. Yeah. So this is a compilation of recent works done by our company, Toonz. Okay, that was about the 2D. Now I'm going to show you the 3D works. All right, that was a compilation of 2D and 3D works done by Toonz. So now, as you all know, friends, animation is a storytelling process, and it requires a lot of creative skills. And it is a really very time-consuming, tedious process. The works what you have seen are done with combined efforts of more than 200, 300 artists working at our studio. And we also have affiliated studios pan India, more than 70 to 80 studios who work for us. And this work is being distributed to various companies, and then we get this done. So it's a collaborative work of more than 2,000-3,000 people, what you see here. And the most interesting fact is 1 second of in 1 day, an animator can maximum produce like uh, 10 seconds of animation. That is something. Hello, am I audible? Hello, hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, okay. So in a day, an animator can maximum produce 2 to 3 seconds of animation, completed animation. So it's a very, um, yeah, okay. It's a very tedious process. And the interesting part is Anyone who has got creative passion, who is creatively inclined, who love drawing, who love storytelling, who love painting, who love photography, love to explore the process of animation, they will enjoy doing this job. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very time consuming. It's obviously it's time consuming, but people might feel bored if you're really not skilled. If you're not creatively inclined to work on this, you might not really enjoy this process. So there are three important stages involved in animation filmmaking. The first stage I would like to explain is pre-production. That is where we come up with a concept to story, story to script, and then we create all the designs and all the backgrounds required for the film. Then second stage is known as production. In production, what we do is we have the story created by one person will be designed by various, there'll be at least 10 or 15 people based on the project, or maybe 100 depending on the complexity and duration of the project, 100 of people working. They produce a final output called animatics, and storyboard and animatics we call it. That will be handed over to the production team, and the production team will refer to the storyboard and animatics and use a 2D or a 3D software to produce the animation. So the primary reference point for artists to create animation or produce animation is storyboard and animatics. Now, creating storyboard and animatics is a very, very creative job. It requires a lot of artistic skills, right from drawing, visualization, sketching, storytelling, understanding of cinematography, understanding of perspective, good perspective. So this is where you define the story, define the character, and later this comes to production. Production happens using two different software. If you work on a 2D film, they use Animate CC or Toon Boom Harmony. And if it's a 3D film, it's mostly they work on Autodesk Maya. There are other softwares also. You've got 3D Studio Max, you got Cinema 4D, you got many more software, but then most popular software used in the industry is Autodesk Maya. And then after producing there are many stages involved in this area also. So after creating this, finishing this stage, it moves on to the next stage, which is known as post-production. Post-production is where we add the background music, dialogue, sound, mixing everything together, doing the color grading, making it look, the look finalization, and the quality or look and feel of the film. All those things will be defined towards the end. And then the post-production artist will produce a video for the particular task, whether it's for broadcast, whether it's for film or a YouTube channel, or whatever size and recommendations are being asked by the will be asked by the producer, that will to be delivered. So there are three major stages, that is pre-production, production, and post-production. Now I'm going to share a video which will demonstrate the process of So I'm going to share a video now.
That DreamWorks Animation made.
There's a fantastic video produced by DreamWorks, and here they demonstrate the various stages involved in producing an animation film. In a nutshell, I told you that there are three major stages. That's pre-production, production, and post-production. And here, that's being demonstrated visually in a very, very beautiful way. So please watch it. Do give attention. You will definitely learn a lot
from my wildly successful Madagascar movies. I stole a lot of seeds and a lot of hearts. But I wasn't born a handsome and well-dressed movie star. No! The talented people at DreamWorks Animation made me what I am. Now keep up, Private.
Yes, sir.
It's no walk in the park making an animated feature film. It takes grit, spit, and a whole lot of duct tape to get these movies out there to John Q. Public. Now this beautiful piece of machinery here is the pipeline. Movies flow in only one direction in my version. But in reality, a scene can make stops out of order, in reverse, loop-de-loop. You get the picture. But we're gonna keep it simple for now and go straight forward through this baby. We have 15 stops to make, so strap on your safety goggles, hold on to your butts, and let's dive into the first stop. Commence operation, make a movie. First stop, story. Now, great movie ideas don't just jump into our laps. Some are completely original. Some come from children's books, comic strips, really just about anywhere. But here's some exclusive intelligence from the front lines. Madam Director?
The director's role in the movie is to have the vision for the film so that the 300 or 400 people working on the film can all be working towards the same purpose. First, we have a script, but the movie is not just a script. We have to visualize it into the medium that you will see in the theater. And the
movies, and we take that, we pitch it back to the director, to the story team and producers. They get the visual concept of what the script could be.
If everybody likes it, which is doubtful.
Well, it's not that doubtful. We do good work, and sometimes they really like it.
The story panels are turned over to the editorial department. Yeah! Shiitake mushrooms! Editors cut the sketches together in a story reel, so the directors, producers, and executives can see a blueprint of the movie. Truth is, this elite unit has their mitts on the film throughout the entire process. How's it going there, editorial? You keeping up?
That's right, Skipper. We take the storyboard panels and we build a sequence out of those. At that time, of course, we don't have any dialogue because the actors have not recorded yet. So we record ourselves doing the voices, the director, storyboard artists, whoever's kind of around who can do a relatively good performance. We then add a little music and effect. That's the foundation of the movie. Normally editing is associated with the post-production side of movie making. But in this case, you're right there at the very beginning. You're throughout the whole process, but at the very beginning is quite critical because you're still trying to figure out what the movie's about, and it's really great to be part of that process.
Ooh! Holy pollywogs! Curse my dibble diet! Hey, who left these paint cans lying around? Kathy?
Sorry, Skipper. The art department is made of a bunch of artists, and they're called visual development artists. The reason is because they develop things visually. The film has to have a look. So the artists will sit down at their computer, or at their pencil and paper, or whatever medium they work in, and they will create what the film looks like. Everything from the characters, to the props, to the environments. Every single thing that you see in the film is designed by an artist. And it gets approved by the art director or production designer, and then we as an art department put it in front of the director to see if it's the film that he wants to make.
Now this, troops, is the modeling department. They have a tough job around here. Tougher than making a soup sandwich. Tell them what you do, Brian.
Modeling, we basically build all the characters, the environments, the props. Everything you see in a film, it has to be built. It has to be created. We receive two-dimensional artwork from the art department, and it's our job to bring it into the third dimension, to give it volume. The other thing that we do is we create or we sculpt the characters. We get drawings from the character designers, and then what we do is we end up with an armature or a wireframe of the character, and then we have to basically sculpt that character and make it look good from every possible angle.
I'm just held together with wires? That makes me feel empty inside. Now modeling hands off all their digital sculptures to rigging.
Riggers, or character TDs, design how the character moves. We're essentially puppet makers. We place all of the joints, muscle, and fat underneath the skin.
Hey, who are you calling fat? Sure, I'm a little chubby, but underneath is a svelte armature. Coming out of modeling, characters, props, and environments are flat and gray. Yikes! Not my best look. Surfacing artists add colors and textures, making the surfaces look smooth and shiny like glass, bumpy and gritty like dirt, or slick and suave like a handsome penguin.
Surfacing artists determine the surface quality of particular assets or characters, basically the color, the texture, or how the light interacts with the surface itself. So we have a material library which is comprised of like metals, woods, plastics, and that kind of thing. So take metal, for example. It can have paint on top of it, it can have dirt, it can have rust, it can have scratches, various things, and we would add that.
Flippin' fish sticks! There's my cheesy dibbles. I wondered where those went. Rough layout is where all the pieces start coming together. It's where the movie starts looking like, well, a movie.
Rough layout is an interesting department because it comes sort of at the nexus point of pre-production and production. So we receive information in the form of storyboards from the story department and then recreate them in 3D space on the computer with a virtual camera, where we determine the cinematography for the film and the initial staging and blocking for the characters. So we're sort of the gateway into production.
Final layout sounds like we're almost done. But guess what? We're not, by a long shot.
That's right, Skipper. After Rough Layout finishes their shots, the first job we do is to prepare the shots for animation, and that's called anim prep. We'll create a master shot, replacing all the simplified characters and geometry with a higher res version that other departments have created. And we'll prepare that for animation by placing in the character in a start position, and animation will take that scene and animate it. Then the shot will come back to us and we'll do final set dressing. We also do a stereo pass where we'll set the stereo for the left and the right eye. We are preparing the final composition. We look for opportunities to try to have it an immersive experience and to draw in the audience.
The character animators start bringing the characters to life.
So in traditional animation, we used to draw all the keyframes of the character, and then that would get played back at 24 frames per second. So nowadays, we don't really draw that much anymore. We really just kind of pose out the character using this CG puppet. There's sometimes 3,000 controls in one character. With the dragons on How to Train Your Dragon, we had 5,000 to 6,000 controls. Animation is basically like, if you were to compare it to live action filmmaking, we're kind of like the actors. So we'll look at reference online, we'll shoot reference in the acting room, and then we'll import that a lot of times into our software, and we'll use that to start animating. We try to bring the personality and the performance to the characters, and we figure out how they walk, how they talk, how they move.
Now remember, that elite unit editorial has been keeping the movie together this whole time. How's it going there, editorial? You keeping up?
Yes, Skipper.
Tight fit. Oh, I wish I didn't find those cheesy devils. Someone slimmed down my wireframe.
Just
and if they sit on a couch and the cushions underneath them need to bulge and deform, that's character effects.
Time for effects. The fun stuff. Explosions, demolitions, massive wreckage and destruction. The kids love it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's not just explosions and demolitions. We do a ton of different things. We, at effects, have to pay attention to all the little details that you take for granted in live action. So little things like footprints or like leaves rustling in the wind, we actually make those happen. And it's not just that. When you have dragons or fairies changing color, we come up with techniques to do things that nobody has seen before on screen. The other end is make sure that the fire or the smoke looks just right. So we are the general problem solvers of the production pipeline.
In other words, we get nothing for free. Hoover damage. The pipe has sprung a leak. Kowalski. Secure those lug nuts. Excelente. And that's why we have TDs, or technical directors, to step in when disaster strikes. We have some. Hey, turn on the light.
The story.
Undesirable risks. Well, we're just about out of this gorgeous pipe. And what do you think comes out of the other end? A movie.
Almost, Skipper. First, we have to complete the music.
While all that great work is being done at DreamWorks campus.
Well, that movie demonstrated the various stages in animation film production, which starts from the script to various stages in production technique, like modeling, texturing, rigging, lighting, crowd simulation, FX animation. So it's a long process, very, very long process. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a live project what we have worked on, and I will show how this was made. I will show you various stages from the movie, how it was done, and the designs and all. So for your understanding, this will give you a better idea about how animation films are made and what are the creative skills one need to possess to get into this field. Now, if you look at the film which I had shown a little while ago, it's evident that it's a contrast of creative and technological skills. It's not just drawing. It's a contrast of creative and technology skills, techno skills. So you need to have people who can draw, people who can paint, people who like photography, people who understand the theory of cinematography, people who can use the software properly, people who can do programming. So it's like an array of skills that are required for being to get in the film, animation film, the means group, the production flow. So now in this demo, let me open a scene. I'm going to dive into one of the softwares used for animation filmmaking. I told you that's the most popular one is Maya. I'm going to open the scene is opening. Just be patient. This is a production scene which I'm going to share. Okay, so what you see here, this is a set for animation. It's a background design for an animation film. So let me show you what are the inputs we got and how this is done. So let me head back to Are you able to see the drawing? Are you able to see the drawing now? There's a picture. Are you able to see? Please type in the chat box. Are you able to see that? Because I'm not getting any response. Because I need to share a few more sequence of images. So I need to. Are you able to see the image?
So the folder is open.
Okay, okay. That's what I want to understand. Okay, so I need to share it once again. So just a moment. Yeah.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Now is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible. The house.
Now this is about a project called Bunyan and Babe, which we did at Toonz. So these are the inputs we got from the client, they had sent it from the US. So they had sent us drawings of this building. This is a farmhouse. The whole story happens at a farmhouse, in a farm, big farm, and there's a beautiful farmhouse in the center. And the story revolves around two kids and their grandparents, Whitney and Travis, and the grandparents. And there are four main characters. So these are few images. One of those images which we got. And using this, what we done, we created a background in 3D, keeping that as a reference. Are you able to see the sequence now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the entrance of the farmhouse. So each and every object have been modeled in 3D. So they have a farmhouse, then they have a place where they have this the chicken coop. There's a stable where they have the farm animals. So if I get closer to this, small building here. Hope you can see the interior. Then you have this building. So this is where they have their keep their animals, farm animals. Now it's visible. Okay, so there are various rope, objects placed over here, barrels with water or whatever is required for that purpose. And all these are farm implements. And out here, you can all, if you notice carefully, you can see the crop. Can anyone say what is a crop over here? What is being cultivated? It's cabbage, and that's what that was the design based on the design shared by the client. Our team worked on this background. So this is the environment where the whole story happens. This was created in Maya, and the backgrounds look gray in color because we need to undergo another process called surfacing or texturing so that they get realistic colors and the look and feel of a real farm. And then we also have characters. So let me show some characters from this film, this movie. So I'm going to show you a character from the show. I guess it's Travis, the boy. And so this is something which is very common in production. Animation softwares are very much hardware dependent. I'm using a high-end Core i7 processor and a very good graphic card. Still, when I open a production level scene, it will take a few minutes, 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes to load. Yeah, now it's come. So there's a character. So this is how we worked on this character. We developed that. We got the drawing from the client. I'm going to show you the drawing now. I'm going to stop the share for a while, then open this character's drawing. Once again, I'm going to share. So now you can see this is a character turnaround model sheet. We have the character. The first one is colored. Then we have character in different angles. We have a 3/4 side and a rear angle. So front. So we'll use this as a reference in Maya to model the character. So all these things are provided by the pre-production team. Remember, the pre-production team will work on all the creative aspects, all the designs, the characters, the props, the background, the surroundings, the vehicles, whatever elements you find in the show, everything will be designed by the pre-production artist so that the entire production team will have a uniform way of working. They all focus on a common goal, getting the same look and feel for the characters. So even if the project is done by a different set of people at different location, they still have a common reference point, which will be the turnaround model sheet. So this is the character. Then this character again, once again, I will dive back to Maya. So here you can see there's a character and we colored him. Then we gave him these controls. These are the controls used for animating. So the animator will have access to all these controls. He can move his legs and controls for the hip. For the arm. So we have, as we work on a 3D space, the advantage is we get to navigate to all the 360-degree view of the character. We can navigate, and every line or control what you see outside is for controlling the character. So this very interesting stage. This is like you yourself will become a puppet control, like a puppet maker. We create puppet controls for the character to be animated. If you don't do that, it cannot be animated. These characters will look static and they wouldn't have any kind of movement. So you can see what's written over here. Now all these controls are for his mouth controls. If you want to make him happy, I can quickly slide out here. You can make him worried, angry, shocked. different expression connected. Even there are different alphabetical, like you got A's for, so that this dialogue animation would be very easy. E, then W and Q. This for confused. Okay, so these are very interesting stages. It is not necessarily drawing. You have to, when it comes to learning, you'll have to learn the entire process, but identify what suits you the most, because every individual who is creatively inclined will have something unique. And make sure a mentor will identify your skill set and guide you to choose the right area. Someone who is very good at drawing and painting, I might not ask, as a mentor, I might not ask him to take up rigging. Someone who knows a little bit of programming, who is inclined towards animation filmmaking, but not that great at drawing, can definitely be a great rigging artist. So it's a contrast of skills between creative and technology together. And that's how good movies are made. So then rigging, then it comes to animation. Animation is not that easy. That's the most time consuming, as I told in the beginning, it's the most time consuming and tedious process. Animation is about giving very believable moment to characters. So if you're animating a monkey, you need to emulate the real feel of a real monkey coming down or jumping or doing certain action. Say, for example, I'm going to show you a sequence here of an animation sequence. Of a character. It's again, let's say I told it's a monkey. And here I'm going to play the animation. See what happens. There's a baboon which comes down from the top of the tree. He swiftly comes down with a very believable moment of a monkey. Then he comes down and he grabs the object, and as he finds it's of no use for him, he'll discard it. And if you observe properly, now this is where you need to you need to be a very good observer to become a good animator. Because if you observe carefully, here the monkey he's coming down with a goal in mind. He spots something, even sitting on top of the tree. He spots something. He's very comfortably seated and he's not off balance. He's perfectly. And the monkey, it was the instruction for the animator. I still remember it was written. The monkey should weigh somewhere around 25 to 30 kg. That means when the monkey comes down and hits the ground, we need to make it believe as if it's a live monkey weighing 25 to 30 kg coming down with an intention of what he spotted, picking what he spotted. And is a very thoughtful monkey. Before picking the object, he will look around, look at the surroundings and see whether he's safe. So this is animation. Animation is about giving life to static objects. It is not just moving one object from one location to another. You need to be very, very, you need to have enough patience, a lot of perseverance, good understanding about the principles of animation, good understanding in about using the animation tools within the Maya software or any other application you work on, and good understanding about the character you're going to animate and the kind of performance what is required by the character. You need to visualize, you need to observe other characters or watch videos and then animate. So I'm going to play the animation once again. See, the monkey comes down with a very believable moment. Then before picking, see, look around, grab it, goes out of the frame, and he feels it's of no use probably for him, and he'll throw it off. And that's what happens. So this is animation. Animation means giving life to an object. Making an animated or a static object move from one location to another, but with very believable moments of character. That is character animation. You have different types of animation. You have object animation, you have effects animation, you have character animation. What I've shown is character animation. Effects animation is about creating a sequence where you have, let me show you. It's based on animation, based on, what do you say, real world physics. like animating rain, animating snow, animating wind, fire, water. Now in this scene, for demo purpose, I have given a very simple scene. If you look at the sequence, it's demonstrating as if there are water drops falling onto a water surface. So every time the water drops hits the water surface, it creates concentric circles, and there's some kind of deformation happening for the water surface, and multiple drops fall in. Then the first drop, there's a death span for the first drop. The new drops come in. So this is done using expression. It's a very old file, but then it was used for demo. And this is real world physics. So here we are not creating cartoonic movement. We are trying to create real world physics. It's more of observation. So you need to have patience, perseverance, along with your creative skills. You need to be a very good observer. You need to observe things properly and then animate them. Let me show you one more scene of let me show you of FX animation. In this scene, the sequence of fireworks, like the Diwali fireworks we have. And this again is animation. It's again, we are moving one particle from one location to another, but this is not having any kind of character movement. This is static hardware objects or man-made objects. So different type of animation. Some people do excel in this field. Some people love doing character animation. Remember, the most important thing along with patience and creative skill is acting skill. You need to be an actor yourself. Within yourself, there should be an actor to create quality character animation, believable character animation. One more example I can show for FX animation. Here I got the sequence of a car or a vehicle going through a dusty surface, or probably it's a trail of sand. The sand trail, the car going through a surface. So this again, FX animation. There's no cartooning moment here. So this is a great field altogether. One will have to really, you get a chance to explore a lot. Then you need to have good photography skills to understanding the composition. Photography skills also help you in doing the right kind of lighting for the scene. Also generating the good, the proper look and feel for the scene. So it's a very interesting process, like the whole animation flow itself, like pre-production, production, post-production. Somewhere I found, like during my all these years, I've been interacting with a lot of youngsters, and I found everyone who's passionate about doing animation, there is something for him. If you're passionate, there's something for you to work on. It's not that I like animation, but I don't think I'm fit for animation. It's not like that. There are many areas which are meant for people who are not good at drawing too. They just love the medium, but people who love this medium can work also. They can do really perform well in this medium. But there are selected areas. Like a good animator means you need to have good observation skill, great understanding and timing of means about the timing and principles of animation, and then good skills in acting. So all these combined skills will bring a quality animator. Then about animation, another fact I would like to say is it is not animation what comes toward the beginning. Animation comes towards the end. In fact, you got many stages. We need to have pre-production. We need to, within pre-production, you have many stages. You have storyboard. No, not sorry, I'm sorry about it. You need to develop the story, from the story to script to thumbnails, or then storyboard to animatics, then visual development for the characters, for the props, objects, everything. After that, it comes to production. So there are many stages, and you need to understand what really fits for your skill set, and then take up animation as a career. You can definitely excel. There's a huge demand for skilled manpower in this particular segment. There's a huge demand for skilled manpower. Please remember, skilled manpower means people who have creative skills, who can draw, act, photography, painting, and most importantly, you need to have the high levels of passion and perseverance to pursue this art. Now let me show you, this will be the last phase of the demo. I'm going to take you through an interesting project we worked on. So I'm going to stop the share for a while and I'll be sharing another window with you. Let me come on up here, yeah. Okay. So this is going to be a kind of case study about a project we worked on. Yeah. Okay. So we worked on a commercial for Amul butter. This was done a couple of years back.
Utterly delicious. Hey kids, स्वाद इसका चख लो, सपने सुहाने में स्वाद इसका रख लो, सभी यम्मी खाने में यह सब कुछ है tasty और friends है special, यह दुनिया है magic, साथ में ले चले तारों के पार, छूने आसमां का रंग, अपने favorite foods yummy, असली मक्खन के संग, अमूल बटर के संग, अमूल बटर के संग, असली मक्खन के संग। Good morning के साथ ही स्वाद इसका पुकारे, बन जाए stronger, हम बच्चे प्यारे, utterly delicious, Amul.
Okay, so out here you might have observed in the whole commercial, it's a combination of live shot video. The kids are real. Then it has got a bunch of CG elements. We call it computer graphics, and it's like the Amul girl. This character is a 3D character. Then these are real, and the background it's all done using computer graphics. Let me scroll forward. And if you look at this shot, you'll find a beautiful sky. It's a castle on the far, mountains, it's a water surface, the Namul girl with these characters, all in a boat, all placed in a boat. Now this is done in various stages. What we got now from the client is very, very limited. We just had the live video of the kids. That's all, one footage. Then rest, whatever you see, it's all done by our team. And remember, we work from the southernmost tip of India, very close to Kanyakumari. We work from Trivandrum, the capital of Kerala. And our team over here developed the backgrounds. We painted the backgrounds. Then we created the water surface using Maya. Then we modeled this boat in Maya. This is again, this character was modeled, surfacing, using surfacing. We textured, gave her those colorful looks. Then created the boat, then had these characters. But these are real characters, live video. We integrated everything together. That's done using a process called compositing. And eventually we got this final output. Let me show you the stages involved in it. I'm going to stop the share for a while. I'm going to show the input. First, let me show you the input, what we got for the project. So this is the only input we got from the client for this particular project. Rest, everything you see in the everything you see in the visual is created using computer graphics. From here, we used, let me show the screen. Yeah, this is a better option. So there's the 4 stages. The stage 1 is live action input. Then we had CG matte painting process where we created the mountain, the castle, then the bottom, the base, the water surface is done using Maya. After that, we had this Amul girl drawing the boat tunnel that we composited it. Then we had the characters placed the particular boat. Finally, using various techniques in VFX, we need to create as if it's all in one single layer. So using compositing and various techniques related to compositing in the VFX, we develop this output. This is the final output we have. So this is how it goes. Animation can be used in films. You find animation for commercials. You find animation in cartoon movies or education content creation. You find it in medical animation. You find them in augmented reality. You find animation in virtual reality. You find animation to be like used for education purpose, like demos and many other purpose. So there's a huge demand for animation now. So all you need to do is you need to be, if you're passionate, watch more and more movies, attend sessions like this from industry people, and try to understand what is required by the industry. Remember, if you're very good at drawing and love creating your own stories, please explore more in pre-production. There's a huge industry waiting for you. There's a huge demand for creative form. If you're someone who loves using software and then creating a lot of digital art, try to explore Maya, learn Maya, and then get in the industry as a modeler or a texturing artist, as a rigging artist, lighting, animator, or an FX artist. There's a lot of scope. Then someone who would like love video editing can use create a final edit for the film. Try to learn DaVinci or Final Cut Pro so that you get an opportunity in the industry. And that was it. That was the last part of my demo. Now, this is a nutshell about animation filmmaking, the three important stages. Let me recap it. So recap, that's pre-production, production, and post-production. One need to really explore all these areas and then understand where you fit in. So if you're taking up animation as a career, please learn it from A to means end to end, learn it, then identify where your skill set is going to blend with the required skill set for production. Then emphasis more on that area, then create a great looking portfolio. Remember, portfolio is not something which people complete to get the certificate or the complete the program. The definition of a portfolio in creative industries, the compilation of the best works you have done. So remember to compile the best works you have done and promote them through online medium or send it across to creative folks. I'm sure people would love to share and promote great creative artwork by youngsters like you. And that's it. That'll be your gateway to enter the animation industry. There's a huge demand. The creative industry beckons. Please step forward, explore a lot. You find YouTube links to learn. You can approach institutes and colleges to learn. And I'm going to wind up the session for now. And the next part, we have 5 more minutes. I would like to leave it open for question and answers, if any. I hope you like the session and the demo I've done. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful presentation and showing us the real work that's being done using animation. It's really beautiful. It's like a candy to your eyes. It's so nice. So I'd like to ask a question here.
Yeah.
And what is the future of 3D animation in Indian filmmaking?
Yeah, animation beyond cartoons. That is something, one answer. One answer would be animation beyond cartoons. Animation has got into many other very serious areas. Like, say, for example, an animation company like Toonz Animation, in between, 80% of our work was done for Byju's. That is not from the entertainment industry. They work for education, but animation is used in the education industry. So that is leading to a lot of job openings. Then the use of animation in storytelling, which is movies. Like India has got a large film industry. You got 4 film locations in South, Bollywood, then Bengal, then Oriya, Punjabi. So then Bollywood is one of the largest. So we have so many content, so much of storytelling happening within our country. So every story, ever since Bahubali, the demand for local VFX has increased. I've been associated with a couple of new projects in Malayalam and supporting them. I'm guiding them and doing some consultancy. So I've seen visual effects itself. There's a huge demand for 3D animated content to be used in the visual effects. Hope you all know that visual effects is taking a new leap and coming up as virtual film production. Now, virtual film production is where the entire film production shooting will happen within. There will be no outdoor shooting. 99% of the shooting will happen within a big room or a big hall, and the entire environments need to be created using film. So that also gives a huge potential, gives huge potential for more job openings in the visual effects market. So there is no dearth of opportunity on when it comes to the 3D animation. There's a huge demand. So along with cartoon film, parallelly you have animation. Education segment, your virtual reality, augmented reality, and the film visual effects, which is turning to virtual production. Henceforth, we are going to say, I think people will be saying virtual film production, not visual effects. So virtual film production is going to dominate. So entire thing will be dependent on 3D content. I hope I have answered to your query.
Yes, sir, very well. And that showcase that there is a huge demand in industry right now.
Yeah, yes, true.
Yes. And when this, that this is a change with the COVID award, that if outdoor shooting won't happen, then the concept artist will also be in demand, right?
Yes, virtual film production was there before COVID, but post-COVID, this has really come up. And a lot of companies in India are planning to establish a company in Trivandrum. They're planning to have their own virtual production studio. And they're planning to shoot their next Malayalam movie entirely using virtual production. So it's post-COVID, definitely it's post-COVID, the technology. So COVID has taught us many lessons. Probably the best technology mentor he had been for us. Even the connectivity, what's happening between us through Zoom, it probably happened because of COVID only. Else we would have preferred other medium also, like webinar.
Absolutely, sir. True. Earlier it was meeting physically. Now it's a social meeting.
And we still feel, we still feel it's really productive. We are able to converse with people, able to exchange ideas. So things are going great. So virtual.
Otherwise, to meet you, I'll have to travel all the way over there.
Down south, yeah.
Right, sir. Okay, thank you so much for this wonderful session. We really enjoyed. We really learned a lot, and I'm sure we'll come up with more sessions with Toonz Animation and with Vinod, sir. And,
yeah, sure. We'll be happy to associate.
Yes,
definitely.
Thank you so much, sir. Really, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Hope it was productive. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Take care. We'll see you in the next session. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.